Хидрологически бюлетин. Изпълнителната агенция за проучване и поддържане на река Дунав в Русе дава следните сведения за нивото на реката в сантиметри. В българския участък на реката: Ново село плюс 100, спадане 15. Видин плюс 168, спадане 14.
The Danube. Every time one hears that name, invisible fingers pull the strings of one's heart. The Danube is as old as time. How many historical events determining people's fates, how many deeds, both tragic and glorious, have happened here, and worthy of their decoration have been these banks, this river. These are the much-loved Bulgarian writer Jordan Yovkov's words. They were dedicated to the biggest river in Europe, flowing from west to east, passing through 10 countries, the 7th of which is Bulgaria. Every day at 3 p.m, Bulgarian National Radio reminds us of the Danube. We hear the hydrological bulletin not only in Bulgarian, but also in Russian and French, the official languages of the Danube Commission, established after World War II, which is concerned internationally with the maintenance and navigation conditions of the river. And even though the seemingly boring information might be of interest only for the river captains, it's an integral part of the rhythm of the Danube poem, part of the life on its banks. From the river mouth, where the river Timok empties into the Danube and starts the Bulgarian section of the river, to the town of Silistra, where the big river finally leaves Bulgaria, it has many faces. Its banks are surprisingly different. Along the river, towns alternate with villages, protected natural areas and amazing flora, fauna and water life, such as Persina Natural Park and Rusinski Lom Natural Park, Lake Srebrna Natural Reserve, as well as protected wetlands such as Kalimok Brashlyan or Malak Preslavets. Good day. My name is Eva Georgieva, and I am a tour guide at Srebrna Natural Science Museum. The museum opened on October the 31st, 1983, to feature the bird species inhabiting the natural reserve. This is the Dalmatian pelican. Along the 470-kilometre-long river border between Bulgaria and Romania, there are hundreds of small and large islands. Each one of them, especially the large ones, is a small world inhabited by cormorants, herons, swans, gulls, pelicans, and dozens of other species of birds, amphibians, reptiles, insects.
Температура воды 14 градусов 60. Температура воздуха 13 градусов 2. Прогноз уровня воды на следующие 2 дня. Русе понижение 5 см.
Travel and trade on the river never cease, regardless of whether in Vidin, the first big Bulgarian city built on the banks of the river, the people enjoy the local fair organised on the occasion of the town's holiday and the veneration of Saint Demetrius. The same could be said about the Romanian town across the river, where people are preparing for the winter.
Мохач плюс 232, повишение 3. Безден плюс 80, повишение 2. Апатин плюс 144, повишение 2. Земун плюс 234, понижение 2.
It is the trade and flow of goods that have created the image of Vidin and the larger Russe as the first modern and European-looking cities, in which the spirit of Vienna, Budapest and Bratislava seems to still dwell in the facades of the buildings and in the beautiful parks. For those who enjoy a gentle stroll along the waterfront, the river offers both beautiful scenery and peace of mind. For travellers and tourists, the river is the beginning of a path or haven. For the fishermen, their everyday life. For the businesses, a transport corridor. and for others, an adventure or just mystery.
The
river is a means of transportation. It is a window, an opportunity for an exchange between the different regions along the lower course of the river and all of Southeast Europe.
Oryahovo plus 77 baisse 1. Nicopole plus 158 baisse 2. Swistov plus 95 baisse 3.
Our house was located nearby the port. We too are connected with the Danube. I don't know how to define it, but we are blood related with the river. There's evidence that the locals used to live off fishing alone. Along with the development of fishing, boats were also developed, for they are an integral part of fishing. In the past, it was our livelihood. Fishing was our livelihood. My father, you know, was a fisherman for years. When we were little children, the only game we played was making little ships. We made them from wood, tied up with pack thread, and we would play that game by the river all day long.
Никопол плюс 158, понижение 2. Свищов плюс 95, понижение 3. Русе плюс 91, понижение 6.
The ferry keeps on shuttling between Nicopol and Turnumagurele. There, in the biggest church, a young family are taking their marriage vows before God. At the same time, people from all of Central Europe have gathered in the town of Swistov to recall a glorious past, when the Danube was the northern border of the Roman Empire. And since the Danube is like a big encyclopedia, it is like an aquatic mirror in which the past and the present are reflected. Evidence of that can be found throughout the length of the Bulgarian riverside, from as far to the west as the border town of Kula, where the late Roman fortress Castra Martis is situated, through Vidin with its citadel Baba Vida, Swistov and the legionary camp Nove, Russe and the ancient port Sexaginta Prista, over to the town of Silistra, far to the east, and the fortress Durostrum Drastar. So, historically, the human face of the river is many-sided, colourful, and the words that depict it full of different etymology and symbolism. The port of Russe never ceases to handle cargo, whereas in Silistra the procession of the wonder-working icon Mother of God is the most important event at the moment. During the Second Bulgarian Kingdom, the town became metropolitan residence and capital, at that time, of Theodor Svetoslav and Ivanko Terter. There is no other river on the planet with so many names as the Danube, along which there live people belonging to so many different ethnic and religious groups. The mosque of Osman Pazvantoglu in Vidin is there to remind us of this fact, as is the case with the semi-destroyed synagogue. Of course, we have also the beautiful Orthodox churches, amongst which is the jewel of the crown, St. Demetrius Cathedral. Thus we find out that in the big cities there are large Jewish, Armenian and Catholic communities. Throughout the course of the river, From the village of Vruf to the village of Vetren, there live Wallachians or Romanians. For example, the master boatmaker Aurel Ivanov from the town of Tutrakan is of exactly the same origin. He is a second-generation immigrant, Christian Orthodox. An interesting minority group is the Lipovanci people, also referred to as Old Believers or Cossacks, who nowadays live in the villages around Silistra. When the evening service bell rings, I receive my blessing from the priest first. He gives his blessing and says, you know, may God help me. If you look closer, you will see that the Lipovanci people live near reservoirs and rivers only. They have never been farmers. In the past, they did fishing, straw mat knitting and things like that. Some Tatars from the Crimean Peninsula who settled here in the 19th century live on the banks of the Danube too, and are Muslims. Near the towns of Nikopol and Tutrakan, the so-called Alevis, a group of Shias also known as the Kizilbash, live in closed societies.
Alevilerin inancında hoşgörü var.
There is one basic rule for us, and that is tolerance.
72 millete ayrılığı.
For us, the Alevis, there is love for human beings, as one should love all people
İnsan
equally.
sevgisi var.
We show all this through singing, playing games, giving praises, or by saying Ilya, or singing Nefes. We believe in this. Our relatives and friends and our ancestors taught us so. However, with their unique folklore, the Kapansi people remind us of our Proto-Bulgarian origin.
И човеколюбието народ и син, с когото си благословен заедно с Пресветия благ и животворящ Твой дух, сега и винаги във вечни векове. Амин. На Господа се помолим, Господи помилуй. Отстрани от тях старата она заблуда, изпълни ги с вяра, надежда и любов към Тебе. За Те величай, като се покланят, слави като и възвишено ме хвали през всички на живота си.
Our fathers and grandfathers enjoyed good health. They consumed good food, but most of all they had wine. Its colour resembles blood the most. Wine means life. It is both blood and wine mean life.
Rosset tendance à la baisse 5 cm. Niveau prévu plus 86.
Yet another pushercraft pushes barges down the Danube. However, if the big river has for centuries been thought of as a border, today it is the other way around. The river is a place for cultural exchange and cooperation. Apart from the dozens of ports, various bridges have been built across it. Two of them are the bridges connecting Bulgaria and Romania. In 1954, the bridge linking Russe and Gurgevo was built as a result of the rapid industrialization of both countries in the middle of the 20th century. In 2013, Europe Bridge was opened, linking the towns of Vidin and Calafat. The bridge is a symbol of both countries' European present and future. Stefan Vunulescu, the expert in Romania, wrote, "The Danube shows mutual reflections of both towns and places, in order to flow away, carrying out its entrusted mission to establish European connections. The river takes a leisure traveller throughout past history to places enchantingly beautiful. That is what the world of the Danube carries along, as it deserves to be studied in detail."